the expansion areas between the existing landfill and the old channel. And they developed about half of it before they were stopped. But that was all the wetlands in there. That's why they couldn't build it.
So the landfill is this bald area over here to the right. It's huge. It's a big mound.
Well, it's a lot less than it used to be.
Yes, it's shrinking.
It's settled quite a bit. Yeah.
What is happening?
What do you mean that these drinks just decomposes? As it decomposes,
or
the material goes down. Because you couldn't you weren't used to, you couldn't see behind it.
How much would you say it is sunk down?
Which one?
At least 10, 15%. I mean, you couldn't see the hills behind it when it stopped originally.
Oh,
where is the canal?
Well, the canals. If you look straight ahead, it's probably the opposite corner where the landfill is, because right there is where the old Wallkill used to make a sharp turn there, and went behind the landfill, and this was the channel. So what they did was they dug up a canal, they dug a 4-foot trench from that point down past where the Cheechunk comes in.
Just over the other side of the
Just over the other side, but it started out as a small ditch, and basically the river just opened it up, and then the flow of the river mostly goes straight through there.
So the river has excavated it to the point that it is now.
Right. That's why it's so. If you look over the 17M bridge, you'll see how deep it is in terms of the topography. That's because it's all soils that wasn't there originally. So it's really cut a pretty deep channel on that side.
but you can see the conscious decision made to put this facility here, right on the channels of the Wallkill, is that we're capable of recovering almost all of our materials and cycling them at this point. We don't need this facility.
5 or 6 feet.
And we of course knew that to a great degree during the World War II period. And it's not like we unlearned it because engineers decided that there were better ways to do it. And of course, nothing about those better ways came to fruition. They were in every way failed. They didn't protect the groundwater. They didn't do anything that they were reported to do.
Does anything seep into the aquifer?
Oh yeah. Yeah, and one of the things that's interesting, Scotty mentioned there's a sole source aquifer along here. It's the Southern Wallkill Valley Aquifer. It's a vast aquifer. It's connected to the Black Dirt region. It's certainly connected to the river. Scotty said it's the sand and gravel aquifer. And so you have a major groundwater resource here. And of course, is it a good idea to mix up your waste stream with your major water resource? I don't have to answer that question.
To what extent are the county and state keeping an eye on it now, monitoring it?
We're not very sure. They're supposed to be monitoring it for 30 years, but they still have, on the canal side, they still have seeps from the landfill, and there's this issue of whether the landfill itself is pushing the clay out from underneath and closing off that part of the river.
Yeah, at one point we went, in a hearing we got the DC to order the county to put in inclinometers, which are the tubes that you put in that are vertical tubes into the landfill, and then if the landfill tilts, the tubes tilt, and you can quickly see whether or not it's moving. And we don't know what the status of those are. They're
not functioning.
They're not functioning. So there clearly is a need for a revisiting of this. So your question is well directed. Would we be better off going up through Echo Lake and really directing the water the way it went? One way of getting rid of the problem of pinching off of the Cheechunk Canal would be to stop using the Cheechunk Canal. I don't know if that's a good idea at this point or not. It's a legitimate question. So the answer is yes, that's the kind of thing that we want to have looked at.
Who would do that study?
Well, there was supposed to be a study done. I testified in hearings about, 5 or 6 years ago. And the Corps, I thought, was going to do a study, but we've never seen the study. And of course, all these theories of what to do and pressures going on to do this, that, and the other thing continue. But there needs to be a comprehensive look at the system that really sorts out the consequences of different choices. with two landfills there, I mean, there may be lots of things that you could do that you can't do. It's an interesting problem.